You open the door, and something changes. It is not obvious, just a gentle weight, the kind of weight that sits right behind your eyes. All day you waited to go home, and then you arrive. But the feeling of relief does not come. You sit down, but you are not really resting. Something in the room keeps pulling you back. You cannot name it, you just feel it. It might be the stack of books on the table that you meant to clear away last week. It might be the corner of the wall with things you do not know where to put yet. It might be the feeling that this house is waiting for you to do something, and you just walked in after a long day. You do not want to do anything anymore. But the house does not know that. It keeps talking to you. That feeling has a name. It has a specific mechanism, and once you understand it, you will not be able to unsee it. The average American adult spends 90% of their time indoors. Most of that time is spent at home. If your home is draining your energy instead of restoring it, you are losing your most precious resource every single day. Not at work, not on the road, right in the place you consider your sanctuary. This is not an issue of interior design, nor is it about cleaning up. This is what your nervous system has been trying to tell you for years. And that is exactly what we are going to talk about today. Today, we will go over the real reason for this. Slowly, the way it deserves to be understood. Not as a problem to be solved, but as a message your home has been quietly sending you for a very long time now. This is the part that most people walk right past without stopping. Your brain does not have an off switch. Right now, as you sit in your living room, in your kitchen, or wherever you are watching this video, your brain is processing everything in your line of sight, not because you are paying attention to them, but because that is how the human brain works. In 2011, the Princeton Neuroscience Institute measured brain activity as participants sat in different environments. The results were unbelievably clear. Every object in your field of vision competes for the attention of your visual cortex. This is not a metaphor, it is actual neural activity, measured on a functional magnetic resonance imaging machine. A shelf with 30 objects is 30 open tabs, running all at once constantly, never closing, and it does not stop there. The Center on Everyday Lives of Families at the University of California, Los Angeles, tracked the cortisol levels, which is the stress hormone, of women living in various homes. Those living in homes with a high density of objects had higher cortisol levels measured in their saliva, not after a stressful day at work, not after something bad happened, but simply from being at home. Cortisol does not wait for a report deadline. It reacts to visual density. Your body cannot tell the difference between a cluttered shelf and an approaching threat. It reacts to both in the exact same way. But why do you not notice this? Because the human brain adapts. You have stopped seeing the stack of books on the table, and you have stopped seeing the things that do not have a designated spot in the corner. But your nervous system never stops seeing them. Adaptation hides the source, but it does not eliminate the toll it takes. It sounds small, but it is not. The quiet exercise here is this. Tonight, walk into a room and count not the objects, but the decisions you are putting off. That number is the exact weight you carry into your daily life. But that is only one layer of this story. Centuries before the functional magnetic resonance imaging machine existed, before anyone thought of measuring cortisol in saliva, the Japanese understood this. They did not call it neuroscience. They called it Ma. Ma, pronounced Ma, is the intentional empty space in Japanese aesthetics. But it is not a mere absence. In Japanese design, empty space is not a lack of something. It is a different kind of presence. Ma is the silence between notes, the very thing that turns sound into music. It is the space between objects which allows a room to breathe. Western design fills space. Japanese design protects it. In a traditional Japanese home, there is a concept called tokonoma, an alcove dedicated entirely to a single object, a painting, a single flower branch, and nothing more. That object is not a decoration. It is a resting place for the eyes, one for each room, for each season. Everything else is put away, given away, or let go. Not because they do not have the money to buy more, but because they understand that every added object is an added signal. And the human brain was not built to process an endless stream of signals and still have the energy to rest. Your life is not too full. It is full of things that do not carry the right weight. This is the most crucial difference. The objects you actively choose, they are quiet. The objects that accumulate over time without a conscious decision, they speak continuously. Most of the things wearing you down were not chosen, they just appeared gradually. No one made a decision. There is a difference, and that difference is everything. The question the Japanese do not ask is, where do I put this? Their question is, does this deserve to be in my field of vision? A tiny shift in the question, a complete shift in the result. The quiet exercise here is this. Choose a flat surface in your home. Clear it off completely, then only put back the things you would actively choose to look at. Nothing else is allowed to return. What is actually documented is this. There is a threshold. Your brain is not always on the defensive. There is a point where, when visual stimulation drops low enough, the brain begins to shift into a state of restoration. Below that threshold, your nervous system begins to heal. Above that threshold, it remains on guard. Most modern homes consistently sit above that threshold. That is why rest feels incomplete, even when you have had enough sleep. How do you know when your home is truly restoring you? You sit down and do not immediately think of the chores you need to do. Your eyes find a place to rest. Instead of constantly darting around, your breathing naturally slows down within the first 3 minutes. This is not a metaphor. These are measurable physiological responses. And you do not need to change your entire house. You do not need to become a minimalist. You just need your nervous system to be able to exhale. That threshold is closer than you think. One cleared surface changes the signal volume of the entire room. One room changes the feel of the entire house. In 1868, Japan entered the Meiji era. While the West was industrializing, accumulating, producing, and filling up space, many Japanese families held on to an older philosophy. They called it Danshari: refuse, discard, and let go. Not out of poverty, not because the times demanded it, but because they understood what science would not be able to measure until the 21st century. They did not call it minimalism, they called it clarity. That distinction matters. The quiet exercise here is this. Before you bring anything into your home this month, pause. Do not ask if you have room for it. Ask instead what this item will demand from you every single day. If the answer is yes, put it down. There is a house in Kyoto, built in 1887, still standing today. The family living there has owned the exact same ceramic bowl for 4 generations. Not because they cannot afford to buy more, but because that bowl is enough. And that enoughness, when it is truly enough, restores something. Every time you look at it, your home is not a storage unit. It is the environment in which your nervous system lives. Every object is a signal. Every cleared surface is a moment of silence, and silence, as it turns out, is not empty. It is where true rest lives. Leave a comment with a single word describing what you want more of in life. Just one word. Up next, in 1868, Japan eliminated a very specific household habit. The rest of the world held on to it, and that video is next. Less noise, a clearer life, that is the method.